Good morning, Tony McCormack from FarmMap. FarmMap had its origins 12 years ago with the federal government's natural resource management operation around Australia. It was started in the northern part of Queensland, and it's in the process at the moment of being commercialised. So hopefully I can make this work. Yep. So the basic premise of FarmMap is for farmers to be able to do their own mapping, and that's relatively easily done through the use of satellite imagery to set yourself up initially. The process of registering all of your infrastructure is relatively straightforward. This product's been developed by users in conjunction with users over a long period of time, so you can describe your infrastructure quite well through drop-down access to different descriptions of what it is, and there's a fair amount of variability in the way that people apply the product. So some people like to use asset maintenance and asset information, so they'll put more information in about the age of the equipment or the last time it was maintained or that sort of thing, and some of them do their maintenance planning through this process. So the mapping, once you've got the mapping in there, you can report on it, you can describe it in detail or in summary, and you can use it. Obviously the main opportunities are in the actual design when you're doing your planning. Any line on a map, you can immediately know the distance, the topography and so on. So when you're doing a new fence line or you are doing a water line, you can easily process that in your CapEx situation. You can put sticky notes on the maps. You can put your water infrastructure in there. You can nominate your own distances from waters, so your preferred walking distance for cattle, and then the grazing circles will identify where the gaps are in your infrastructure, and that could be your indications for the future development work and so on. You can also put the buffering zones on anything that's of interest to you. So on larger properties, some people like to know the walking distances from yards, and they'll put up designed walking distances, and that'll highlight gaps for cattle that they think are walking too far. The property profiling tool, as I said, it'll give you the topography underlying the line that you've drawn, and you can then know whether you've got a situation that's a problem or not. It's got digital elevation data, so you can easily see where your elevations are around the property, and you can provide that in various formats. Property planning information for land types, we initially put in the state government data around the country, and that's often got descriptions in there that people don't like, so there's the ability for you to change and put your own descriptions in of what you refer to things as, and some people like to put in better lines of where the land types are as well. The Safe Carrying Capacity tool has the ability to, when you're defining your land types, you can put your carrying capacity in there. You can nominate what the land condition is, A, B, C, D, land condition, and then based on your water distribution, your slope and so on, it'll give you an estimate of what your safe carrying capacity is for each paddock on your property in total. There's various amounts of fractional data and other information available in the system, that satellite imagery that tells you whether your ground cover is growing, not growing, or bare earth. And look at that. This, in terms of Koala, this is indicating that over a 30-year period, last year and this year on Koala and to the west was the worst in that 30-year period. There's various other ways of interpreting data and looking at your situation. All these maps have been done for Koala. You can, in the system, you can benchmark your property either internally, paddocks to paddocks, or you can go out 50 kilometres to your neighbours and have a look over the last 30 years how your ground cover is compared to theirs, where you sit in relation to them. So the mapping options are there with standardised mapping that you can report on, you can print off and report on. You can define your own user maps. You can have geo-reference screenshots, and you can have you can transport any of your maps onto handheld devices using Avenza. So at the moment we've got about 500 members and look after about 10% of the land area of Australia. So future developments, we're a user-focused organisation, so our preferences are defined by our users and of course limited by funding, but land condition is something that's of interest to us, and we're also in terms of land condition management systems, and we're also talking to various farm management software companies about APIs to give information through. Thanks very much.